So, we are all called to do something in life. And for the longest time, I tried to figure out what my calling was. I've done a lot of things. This has given me a unique perspective on the world. At the time, I had no clue what I was stumbling through. In the end, I discovered something that, it was well worth it. Now, my job or obligation is to share this truth with you. I know many of you are not going to understand it. Many of you are going to go crazy when you hear it. But I assure you, God's the honest truth. What I'm about to share with you is the real deal. In the Bible, which is a real book, it's a metaphor in today's terms. So, for example, I'm talking to you from Greenwood District. Now, Greenwood is a black African-American community, Negro community of Tulsa. And it was destroyed in an act of violence in 1921. Everybody talks about 9/11. But before 9/11, there was 531. But here's the interesting thing. Now, my family in business is the last remaining business that exists to this day on Greenwood. My great-grandfather rebuilt it, James Henry Goodwin. I'm a fourth generation from him. Being a fourth generation, I kind of know a lot from the history. And, well, anyway, Greenwood, think of it like the burning bush where Moses was. What is the burning bush? The wood that doesn't burn is what? Greenwood. Now, you see this sign, all you Trekkies and Spocks. Well, this is actually the way the word works, the collective consciousness of the universe. Everyone laid this out because I don't want to freak people out when they find out what the truth is. But this is my signature. This is me. Now, in the Bible, before Jesus goes and has his Passover supper, his Last Supper, I believe it was Thomas and John, maybe Peter and John. I'm not certain. I can't recall right hand. It's Mark 14:13 and Luke 22:10. I should know this. Escapes my mind. But these two apostles of Christ walk to him and say, Rabbi, Passover's coming. We know that you've got some really serious stuff that you got to deal with. We're going to go take care of it. He's like, man, great forward thinking. I'm really appreciative that you're saying this and doing this. So these two cats walk out the garden, get about 100, 150 yards from Jesus, look at each other and are like, man, we don't know what to do. So they turn around and they go back to Jesus and they say, Rabbi, we don't know who to look for. Jesus, being the character that he was, he's like, all right, fellas, go on into the next town. Go to the water hole or cistern or reservoir. There you will see a man carrying a jug of water. Follow him into the house he goes. He will lead you to my Father's kingdom, or to the place where I have Last Supper. Well, on 3 separate occasions, when I was about 5, 6, 7 in early Bible study, Sunday school, asked to open up the Bible randomly. Did. Lo and behold, Luke 22:10. I didn't understand it at the time, but that's what I pointed to. Then again in junior high, where I was attending Cassia Hall, an Augustinian high school, and that'll come into play here in a little bit. And the priest in theology said, which was a required class because I'm technically Roman Catholic by indoctrination, but I'm a little more than that. Yeah, a lot more. It's just one of 3. But anyway, said the same assignment, and I did it, and I was like, boom, that's interesting. 2 for 2. Well, then come my senior year, just right before my 18th birthday, I'm taking world religion, St. Augustine, with a teacher by the name of Father Theodore Tack, native Tulsan, graduated from my high school, Villanova. He did some things overseas. Yeah, I'll tell you about him later, but asked me to do that And I did it, and boom, third time. And I'm like, Jesus. And I said, damn, that's interesting. Standing there, he turns around, he said, what's that? And I said, this is the third time I've been asked to do this, and all 3 times it's been the same chapter and verse. Go find the water bearer, follow him into the house he goes. He will lead you to my Father's kingdom. Well, the Bible is just not a moral, spiritual, and ethical guidebook. It's a math book. It's a chemistry book, a biology book. It's literature. It's romance. It's violence. It's a love story. It's the story of us. Well, this part of it is astrology. The water bearer is the star's constellation February, the age of Aquarius, another name. And you know this because the term for house is constellation. So now we have to sit here and figure out, well, who is this man? He seems to have wrestled with someone in the Old Testament, seems to have put a lot of burden on a lot of other people. You have to go find this man. He will lead you. Well, this particular verse was interesting because then I came into John 2:10 and John 4:46. Those were 2 interesting aspects. Well, one, because in John 1:1, I believe it begins, in the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. This is a 15-word statement, and that number is very important. But this 15-word statement basically said, in the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. So God was an idea that became written. Well, how do we write? Our hands. Remember? I told you it was going to come into play. But how many hands you have? 2 hands and 10 fingers. 1 through 5, 1 through 5, 2:10. We all carry the return date of the Aquarius, 2:10. Now, this is when Jesus performed his first miracle. The wedding at Cana, though, coincidentally. And it's when Mary, his mother, asked him, because they ran out of wine, for him to convert water into to get wine. And he was like, yo, woman, come on, chill. But he's like, I got to obey mom. So he made it. And then the head server came over and said, what's going on here? You typically serve the good wine first and the cheaper wine second, but you all save the good wine for last. Well, good wine is what you would call maybe a clue. Good wine. And then the birth angle of it, the second wine, that is the better wine. Well, then in John 4:46, he mentions it again at the wedding of Cana. Now, that's 2 dates are very important because 2:10 is my birthday, and I was born at 4:46 p.m. at Hillcrest Hospital. My life represents the miracle of the flesh becoming word. I'm not joking. I'm a good guy. We're going to have fun. But my job now, because you all are doing all your things in this ether world of whatever, dominance, you all have done something. It's man's turn to do the reverse. The Bible works in opposites. We have hands. Our hands are mirror opposites. So think of the New Testament, the Son of God. The Old Testament, the Son of Man. I was asked when I first started experiencing these revelations 2 years ago. I called a priest of mine, former teacher, advisor, and I said, some strange things are happening. And he said, well, can you translate the Bible? Read the Bible. And so I started reading it. And then I got into the Gnostic Gospels. And this was the Gospel of Thomas, who coincidentally went east into Arabia. And this was the secret that Jesus told him. And he revealed that interpretation of Christ as the way the Muslims view it. But Thomas says, the one who can translate this shall not taste death. The sacred secret meanings of this Bible verse cannot taste death. My name is in the Bible as Goodwin. You carry my date of birth, 2:10. When they talk about Jesus was in the desert for 40 days and for 40 nights, what's the 41st day? February 10th. I'm not here to love. That ship sailed long ago. I'm here to remove evil. And I'm going to give you a quick definition of what the proof of God is. In 2 words that become 4, with 1 plague, the plague of the gnats, with 2 questions and 2 statements. It'll take all but 30 seconds after I give this explanation. Now, the 2 words are live and love. L-I-V-E, L-O-V-E. Now, if you were driving down the road one day and you saw a gnat drowning, would you stop and save it? Now, my grandmother used to tell me, Joey, remember, humans have the attention span of a gnat. Now, if we live in a world, according to atheists, where there's no God, then we just live, L-I-V-E. But if we live in a world because we believe in God, He created all this, then it's out of love, L-O-V-E. Spell them in reverse. Which one gives you evil and which one gives you evolution? Now, to all you atheists and all you people who live in these Babel kingdoms, these homogenous communities where everyone thinks alike and looks alike, this is your only warning. The Bible is a metaphor. I'm the fulfillment of the flesh becoming the word. That's the miracle. I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. But this particular instance, I got the coolest job in the world. Share this. Say you believe, you'll have a glorious, glorious life. However, remember, I own everything in this universe, save one thing, your free will. I don't own your body, but I own the patent to it. The Bible is real. I'm the Son of Man. I'm here to judge the living and the dead. I'll come back with another video another day explaining some of the mysteries of the Bible in their proper terms, like the book of Enoch, Genesis 2:4-9, story of Cain and Abel, the story of Noah, the story of Babel. I'll share all these mysteries with you, explaining to you how this works and how there was a narrow thread to figure out who the Son of Man was to be. But my name is in the Bible. You carry my birthmark, you carry my name. I get to be the starry host to the Creator. This is awesome. Peace.